Hey everyone, Garry Turner here. I'm in an incredible place called Joyden's Wood here down in Kent in the UK, and I wanted to share with you one of the most incredible ancient oak trees that sits standing behind me. I'm going to walk a bit closer to this thing because I don't think you can appreciate the magnitude and the magnificence, genuinely, of this tree. I'm not someone that's massively into horticulture or trees, but you cannot be anything but wowed by the absolute splendor, beauty, and it's just insane. Just insanely beautiful. Look at the size of this thing. So my question for you today is, what is it about us human beings that believe that we have the right to dominate and cut down at will nature? Open question. Like many of you that might watch this video, I've got a lot of privilege from the point of view of resource, a relatively comfortable life. I don't have to face microaggressions, racism every day. I don't have to navigate and pretend who I am just to get by within a system that doesn't care about me. I've got more privilege and more ability to ignore what's really going on in the world than most people. But I'm finding it increasingly difficult to do so. As someone myself that works within what I call the belly of the beast, don't blame any of us that do. We've all got to keep the lights on. We have families, we have lives to lead. But over the last 5 years in particular, it's become very painfully clear to me how much we are happy to expend nature at literally all costs to just turn a profit. And the thing is, you see, I'm standing here in Joyden's Wood in Kent in the UK. There's no real risk. There's not a major risk, at least, of me being thrown in prison today. There's not a major risk of me being moved out of my home today. There's not a major risk that the food that I'm growing for my family is actually going to be taken over by a multinational corporation and sold to a country many thousands from my shores. But that's what's happening in reality every single day. And I'm not saying that to blame you, to blame me. It's just the reality of how the system has been set up, particularly over the last 500 to 600 years. And I'm just wondering if you've got this far. Of course, hegemony, social media, the tech bros don't want you to get this far in this video. They're hoping that your attention got sapped within the first 3 seconds. But if you are still here, I'm curious how this message is landing with you from a place of curiosity. I struggle, honestly, I struggle often to stay within a sector that I know is causing so much harm to communities around the world, that I know exists almost solely to generate profit. It's not there for purpose, it's not there to co-create, to regenerate. It is literally there just to extract at literally all costs. And I'm benefiting from that. I directly benefit. I even get a bonus for this stuff. Who gets a bonus these days? Look at that beautiful ancient oak tree. It's just literally the synapses and just the shape of the brain right there. And at the same time as navigating what is a degenerative, collapsing paradigm, I have to get by within that same paradigm, or I choose to get by within that same paradigm. And my question to myself every single freaking day, as I've got grandkids in this world, family, children, parents, friends, community members, it's like, what will it take for me? I'll talk about me in the first person. What will it take for me to truly resist what's going on? I've tried to have conversations within big industry. I've tried to bring up, why is it that multinational corporations are silent on Gaza, Israel, but were very quick to respond to Russia, Ukraine? I've tried to bring up the fact that we're happy to invest in so-called sustainability certifications to be in the top 5% of company within X sector, alongside everybody else who's also a 5%. awardee of their badge. There's not enough honesty, there's not enough transparency around what's really going on. And a lot of it is opaque, a lot of it is hidden from view. It goes back to education, it goes back to media, it goes back to fear, ultimately. And that's the other interesting thing. So whilst I'm navigating this honestly collapsing, degenerative world, one that pays very well, that keeps me in a life I've come accustomed to, it's the plural, multiple ways of being and leading and organising that get me most excited. And that's why I love the work of World Blue. What Tracy and the team are doing at World Blue around trying to help us reimagine our relationship with ourselves as organisations in a much less fear-based way, in a much more freedom-based way that allows everybody to be part of something, to have meaning from work, to co-create better, to reduce harm over time. And I guess as I reflect, it's how can we reduce harm whilst trying to navigate these systems that are designed for harm? What is it that each one of us can do? What is it that I can do today, tomorrow, the day after, that is agitating, provoking, seeking to disrupt the known harms that make up every part of our global supply chains, our food systems, capitalism as is? And I don't have all the answers, and I don't pretend to have all the answers, and I have my own supremacy culture patterns, such as saviorism, right to comfort. This video is a active, intentional video trying to disrupt my own right to comfort patterns. It's not that I'm trying to blow things up for you. It's not I'm trying to blow things up for me and my family. I'm just trying to raise awareness and start a conversation from within big industry that just is not being had at the moment, no matter how much I try. And I think just sharing these reflections as I walk through this 400 to 500 year old ancient woodland within the UK has a different resonance with it. It's allowing me to share these reflections, offer myself these provocations, and I hope they're landing with you and getting you curious around what can you be doing? What conversations can you be starting? What power do you have? Because we all have power, but within what context? Do you work in sales, sustainability? Are you the MD or CEO? When will we start being honest around the harms that underpin our Western lives and Western capitalist world? It's not something that's going to change overnight. It's not something that's going to change potentially in my lifetime. But I do feel it's something that has to change. And it needs to change for my grandkids. It needs to change for the next generations. And most importantly, as importantly, it needs to change for those that have been harmed for over 500 to 600 years, particularly within the majority of the global south countries that are in essence the engine room. Yeah, they give our raw materials, our labour, to allow me to have a honestly excessive salary versus the average, whilst others literally get by on $5 a day. I'm not happy saying that. It is circumstance. And I'm going to also challenge my own saviorism patterns just to own it. Like that's just the gift of where I've been born. It's the gift of, yeah, just being born when I have been. You know, I haven't earned a lot of, I've earned some of it, but so much of the way my life is right now is because of chance, just where I was born. So I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings. If you've got this far, thank you. And congratulations on your attention span. You're beating hegemony today. And I think I'm going to put this out on my Substack. I'm going to put it out on my LinkedIn. And I just invite you to reflect with me, ask your own questions of your own sector, your own role. What could you be saying and doing to try and have a different conversation within your sector that tries to centre the harm being caused rather than just the profits that are being made? Cheers.